everyone, I'm Ayat,
And I'm Sam.
and this is the first session of the Buddy Dispatch project.
And in today's session, we'll be learning how to write a formal letter.
So before we start, we're just going to introduce ourselves a little bit. So we're both rising seniors, or by the time this starts, we'll actually be seniors, and we are both 17 years old. And we started this project because we've been pen pals for a while, and we think that letter writing is such a great experience. And we'll talk about it a little bit more further on in the session. And we really hope you guys enjoy. The purpose of the Buddy Dispatch project is to be a pen pal project that is designed to be a therapeutic outlet for participants. We want you to be able to express your thoughts and feelings through the art of traditional letter writing, and in the process, you will make a new friend. This is also a great way to practice your writing skills over the summer. And in this session, we're just going to teach you how to write your letters and what to write in them, and we're also going to go over craft, sorry. But if you could go back to the previous slide, Sam, sorry. If you actually want to mail your letter to Buddy, then you should visit our website, which is on the screen right there, or you can email us on the email that's on that slide, and fill out our application on our website, and we will pair you with a Buddy so that you can send your letter to them. But this is not a part of the library program. This is just our own program.
So here is today's lesson plan. So feel free to have some pen and paper to take notes, but you don't have to write your letter right now, but you can. So the first thing we'll be doing is learning how to write a letter. And then after that, we'll discuss the topic of the week. And then lastly, we will be doing an origami craft.
So first we're going to teach you how to properly format a letter because this is something that we're not really taught anymore. We used to be, but not anymore. So you always put the date in the top right corner, the very top of the letter. And then you put dear blank, whoever you're writing to, in the left corner, below the date. And then you indent and write a paragraph, and you can write as many paragraphs as you want, or you can have one giant paragraph, it's up to you. Then after you're finished, you indent. You don't really indent and you don't really go all the way to the right, but you write sincerely or from or love, whatever you want to write. Sincerely is the most formal, and then your name. And that's how you should always format your letters.
So after you finish writing your letter, now it is time to format the addresses on the back of your envelope. So on the top left corner, you're going to be writing your name and address. So you write your name on the first line, and then the number and your street name on the second line, then your city, state, and your zip code on the third line. So again, this is your name and address. For your friend's name and address, you write that sort of on the center of the page, again with their first and last name on the first line, their street number and their street name on the second line, and their city, state, and their zip code on the last line. And lastly, to be able to send your letter through the postal service, you need a stamp. And that stamp goes onto the top right corner of the envelope.
Okay, next we're going to tell you what to write in our letters. And the reason that we're doing this is because we want you and your buddy, if you choose to mail your letter, to write about the same topics so that you can gain some insight into the same topics and see what other people have been doing or thinking about the same thing that you're writing about. And this will allow you to become closer with your buddy and hopefully form a friendship. So first, since this is your first letter with your buddy, you obviously have to introduce yourself. So obviously your name is going to be on the letter, your age, a fun fact about yourself. You can talk about some hobbies that you have, how many siblings, your favorite food, favorite movie, favorite pastime. These are just some suggestions and the list goes on, but just let your buddy get to know you. And then the topic for this first letter, since we're all still in quarantine, we're going to talk about how we've been coping with quarantine because these letters are supposed to be a therapeutic outlet for you. So next slide, please. So these are some sort of questions that we've outlined for your letter. You don't have to follow these exactly, but I think these are some good reference questions to answer for your letter. So, what's something that you've been struggling with while being stuck indoors for so long? What's something you really enjoy about being stuck in quarantine? Um, that's okay. What's one valuable lesson that you've learned while being stuck in quarantine? What's the first thing that you're going to do once quarantine is over? Obviously, you can write more, but try to go into detail and really talk about how you've been feeling and what you're thinking.
Okay, so next we'll be moving on to the origami project. And in your letter, you don't need to only write your formal letter. You can also have fun little crafts. So today we're going to be going over how to make a fortune teller. So let me stop sharing really quick so I can guide you guys through how to actually make one of these. All right, 1 second.
And all of the crafts that we're going to be doing and sending with your letters are going to sort of give a little bit of insight about yourself to your buddy, because that's kind of the purpose of this program, to create a friendship. And so Sam will go over all of that.
Yes. All right, so let me just pin myself. Hi guys. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do to make a fortune teller is to grab a square piece of paper. If you don't have a square piece of paper, that is all right. You can grab a regular letter size paper, and what you do is fold the corner over to the other side until these ends meet, like that, and you have a little triangle. So once you create that triangle, all that's left to do is to cut off this excess piece. And once you've done that, you will have a square. All right, so since you did that, you will need to fold the square in half diagonally like this. And then once you've done that, you should open it up again. And next, you want to fold it in half vertically again, but going the opposite way. So let me show you what that would look like. And there you go. So in the end, when you open up your paper, you should have a little cross or an X. And after you've done that, you want to fold each of the corners into the center. So let me do this really quick. And obviously, for the best results, you would want to be doing this on a flat surface to make sure all of your edges are nice and crisp and that they all meet up. So there you go. So all of the corners are to the on the center of the paper, and the center of the paper is where your two original creases meet. So after you've done that, you want to flip the paper over, and then you do the exact same thing. You want to bring the corner pieces to the center. So repeating that same step, your square should get smaller and smaller. All right, and so when you're finished with that, it should look like this. And your fortune teller is basically complete. All you have to do is write in it. So to make it work, you need to fold the entire fortune teller on the side with the triangles. So these are the triangles, and this side has the squares. So fold it with the triangles inside, folding it in half, just like that. And so once you've done that, you want to stick your pointer and your thumb into these little pockets of the squares on both sides with both hands. And you push it in together just like this. If it doesn't work at first, like mine did, you can fold it again the other way, still with the triangles inside. Fold that in, and then stick your fingers inside. And so hopefully, if you've done it correctly, your fortune teller should come looking like this. Maybe a little cleaner than mine, but that is the main idea. And so what to write in your fortune teller. So typically on the outside, these little four squares, you would write or color in just a color. So on this, I could write red, and then yellow, blue, and green. And then once you finish doing those four colors on the outside, you want to open up your fortune teller again to face these triangles. And in between these smaller triangles, in the bigger triangle, you want to write numbers. So you could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And once you've done that, between each of these little triangles, you want to write your fortune. So I can have one fortune over here, one fortune here, another here, and so on and so forth. And so the idea of this is that when you're playing, you usually play with a friend, and you have them pick a color. Oops. You have them pick a color. And once they pick a color, say they chose this one, which says red, you spell out red. So you go R, opening this way, and then E, opening the other way, and you just keep repeating that, D. So I finished spelling out red, and now you ask your friend to pick out a number. So if this number said 4, you would move your fortune teller 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you can have them pick as many numbers as you'd like. And when you're ready, or when they are ready, you can ask them to pick a final number. And so say they pick this number, which is 4, and you simply just open up the tab and read their fortune out to them. So yeah. So with this, you would just include this in your little envelope and send it out to your buddy.
That was so great, Sam. Thank you. And also, I wanted to include that your fortune teller should be really like personalized. Like your fortune should be something that you want to happen to you. Like you are going to be very rich, or you are going to have, I don't know, a farm full of horses in the future. Something that you want so that your buddy knows, and you can just fold it up and send it in your letter. And Sam, if you could share your screen again for the, okay. So that's it for everything that we're going to send in this letter. But if you join us for our next lesson, we're going to be making collages out of magazines. So you're going to want to bring old magazines or newspapers, some blank paper, scissors, and glue. And of course, we'll be writing another letter. And I really hope that you enjoyed this session and that you join us next time.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.